Hi, how are you today? I'm Jeff Wecker, a former member of the Chicago Board of Trade and now in the FX industry about 25 years and feel very fortunate to have survived and prospered over that period because a lot of people who used to be in business are no longer there. I wanted to talk to you today about the importance of having a personal trading coach in this business. And the reason is that every trader, it doesn't matter how good you are, I've traded with some of the best in the world over the last 25 years, and everyone goes into a slump. Or they get totally burned out, which is even a bigger problem. I've seen traders making $100,000, $200,000 a day or more for quite a stretch, and then turn around and lose twice that and be forced to sell their seat and leave the business. I think had they had a good personal coach who could spot what they were doing wrong and correct it, they might still be in the business. Personally, I bought a seat at Chicago Board of Trade in 1980 and immediately jumped into that jungle called the pits and traded 30-year bonds with some of the best in the world. In those days, you not only had to find your edge and trade well, but you had to dodge pencil points that could stab you in any part of your body and then pick yourself up after a horde of 200-pound traders shoved you down 15 or 20 steps. But that was the easy part. How about when you bought 1,000 bonds or thought you did, and the next morning bonds will limit up, and the trader on the other side denied selling them to you? Aptly named, this is aptly named now trade. And now you're short 1,000 bonds and they're a limit up. In those days, careers were over in minutes. I can't tell you how many times I saw people come into work in the morning, hear about an out trade, were forced to sell their seat to pay their losses, and were filing for unemployment in the afternoon. But I was fortunate enough to survive all that. And after 15 years, go on to trade online and find new edges in a different environment. It's still the same game, but it's just played in a different arena. You still need the same skills, the number one skill being extreme patience, followed by controlling your emotions, sticking with your methodology, never trading in anger, never holding losers, but hanging on to winners, and finally a technical edge. The system you use is one of the least relevant parts of the recipe. I can show you 1,000 systems that will produce profits, but traders fail with them due to lack of patience and excessive emotion. Too many traders feel they have to do something, and that is their pitfall. Around 90% of the time, when a trader feels he has to get out of the trade, that's the perfect time to double up. When you're totally convinced it's going to move in your direction, 90% of the time, that's the perfect place to get out. Trading is way more about emotion and psychology than about technicals. Everybody knows technicals, but few can control their emotions. If technicals were the answer, everybody would make money. After all traders read the same books, attend the same seminars, and follow the same stargazers and tea leaf readers. So as I say, what everybody knows is not worth knowing. In summary, what every trader needs is a personal coach. The very best pros in golf, tennis, skiing, they all have personal coaches, and for a good reason, trading is no different. It's a known fact that pros and amateurs alike revert to their old habits when under stress. That's the recipe for disaster. In trading, you not only need a coach to point out your flaws and get you on track, but to watch you trade under fire and to make sure you don't backslide. That's real coaching. So if you have an issue in trading that you think needs to be fixed, you can reach me on LinkedIn or at jwecker4@gmail.com. Look forward to talking to you, and good trading.